All right, let's talk about how to make your sprite actually do something, and that's going to all be in this motion tab. Again, I know there's a lot going on here. I was very intimidated the first time I pulled all this up. So we're just going to take a little bit of time, let you get used to things just a little bit at a time, and it really won't be too bad once you play around with it. So we're going to actually go down to events first. And this is where everything always starts. This very first thing here, when green flag clicked, you're going to start every program with that block. So just get used to events. When green flag clicked, there are plenty of other things we can do, but for now, green flag's it. All right, back to motion. That's all I'm going to mess with right now. So let's just kind of go through piece by piece, see what these things do. And I think it's best if you just play around with them yourself and see what they do too. So move 10 steps. All right, hit the green flag. Cat just kind of scoots across the screen. And I'm going to up that a little bit and see if you kind of get a sense of what's going on. Right. And then at any time, if I want to move the cat back to somewhere else, I can just click and drag. So the cat's just making these jumps. It's not a very smooth motion. So what's happening? It's the direction the cat is pointing in, and it's moving this many pixels, 100 pixels across the screen. The cat was pointing at 90 degrees. And if you hold your mouse over that, you'll see that that's kind of in this general direction. That's why it's moving to the right. So we can change the cat's direction if you want to move a different way, but that's why it's moving that direction. All right, so that is the move command. You'll need loops to make it more smooth, but we'll get there. Turn, you just turn to the right or left, tell it however many degrees you want to turn. And as you click the button, it'll turn that way. And I'm going to put it back to 90 because that's where the cat was facing, and I liked it that way. So we just want to keep that there. And notice how I can keep these blocks over to the side. And if I decide to use them later, they're there. But I can just keep them off of there as long as they're not linked into the main program here. Go to random position is just going to jump to a random position on the screen. That's it. I can also change that to the mouse pointer. So well, again, I'm going to need a loop to make it update because it went to where the mouse was when I clicked the green flag, which was not especially helpful. We'll need a loop to make it continuously look for the mouse to make that more useful. But you can make a random position if you'd like. All right, we can give it a definite position where you just tell it an X and a Y coordinate and it goes there. So it's just going to default to wherever I place the cat, you'll see it update to that. Well, I guess it did over here. So watch these X and Y coordinates as I move the cat around. It updates to wherever the cat is on the page. All right, so that's an easy way you can make it go to a certain position if you're not sure what the coordinates are. All right, glide to random position. You can again do mouse pointer with that too. Mouse pointer won't be very, very useful right now until I use a loop, but we'll try random position. So it says 1 second, and notice how sometimes it moves faster than others. Basically, it's going to take 1 second to go to whatever position it randomly chooses. So we can shorten that if you want. Like I'm thinking about maybe making a game where a fly is flying all around the screen, kind of randomly, haphazardly, and you want to swat it, something like that. So we could make a game like that with this command. All right, I'll pull that off to the side. We can also make it glide to a certain position. We can make the cat point in a specific direction. If you don't know your degree measures, you can just take the wheel and point it whatever way you want the cat to point. And when you hit the green flag, it's going to point that direction. All right, I'm going to go back to 90. And if you notice this, if I move the cat and then take this block off, the cat is still pointing the last place that it was. So you'll need to either put this back in and say 90, or you can come down here and put it back in. Doesn't have to be 90, but we'll stick with that for this example. So there's that one. All right, change, oops, I went too far. Change in X, and that just pretty much works like move, except it's always X's to the right, negative X's to the left, just like a coordinate plane. So if I put in negative 25, it would move left. And if I can do the same thing with Y, and you can do both at the same time. Like this would go, if you remember slope from algebra 1, you would go down 10, left 25. So it should be kind of like that way. Sorry. I forgot in Scratch. Actually, I'm just getting confused. Yeah, you would go up 10, left 25. So yeah, back this way. I just got confused for a minute. You can make it go to a specific X value every time. So like if I move the cat over here and hit the green flag, it just goes to that X value if you needed to do that. If on edge bounce, this won't be very exciting without a loop, because if it was smoothly moving across the screen and then bounced off, that would be more interesting. But I can make it move, say, 250 steps, so it should kind of flip upside down when it gets over there. There it goes. Not very exciting without a loop because it's very jumpy, but that if on edge bounce would be very helpful when you want things to kind of move around the screen, bounce around. Rotation style, we probably won't mess with that a whole lot. Now, these are the current X, Y positions and directions. And if you check on anything as a checkbox, it shows up on your screen. That's really helpful if you're trying to make a program do something specific and you want to kind of know what the program is thinking in the background. So sometimes you might want to check those off to use them. And if you want to use that X position in a formula, which I know we haven't quite got there yet, but you can just drag that little oval into the formula and it will use the cat's X position or whatever sprite you're using.